It's Dr. Lady. How you doing? It's Monday morning early. What time is it here? Check it out now. 4:07 a.m. on a Monday morning. Now listen, I've been following the gold and silver markets lately. They're on an upward trajectory. Now listen, I use two magazines, Coin World and the Gray Sheet, to keep track of the prices on the collector coins. And it's amazing how valuable some of these old U.S. Mint coins are. The Carson City is the most iconic mint of all the U.S. mints. But I tell you, the gold and silver prices are on the upward trajectory. Let me show you this little beauty. It's from the Germanium Mint. This little tiny bar. Let's see if I can focus in on that. Well, maybe not. I'm not a very good cameraman. I don't have a good camera for these type of videos. Anyway, this is 1 troy ounce, 31.1 grams of 999949 silver. Has a little hologram on it with a CO number. You can't really see that. But anyway, you get the idea. Now listen. This is a generic round pure silver made in 1983. Now, here's the reverse side of it. Very nice. Let's see. Oh boy. Parliament Mint. Parliament Shield. But it's a beauty. It's just generic silver. It might have some collectible value for people who like these independently minted rounds. I mean, they've come out with all kinds of beautiful silver coins and silver rounds and silver bars. But my point in telling you this right now is silver's up to about $25.50 an ounce. And gold is at an all-time high at $2,067. It got up to $2,086 earlier this morning. But what's happening here is the deteriorating U.S. economy, with a massive debt, along with a warmonger president. These Democrats, they never fought a war they didn't like. They love going to war and spending taxpayer money, giving it to the defense contractors. That's how they get so rich. They get the inside scoop. They know who's going to get the multi-billion-dollar contract to build something new. And they're in on the ground floor. Next thing you know, the stock's up 60%. And they order more. The U.S. government orders more. So, there's people in with the inside information. Congressman Pelosi, look at her, perfect example. She enriched herself with all that inside information she got. She's the queen of insider trading. So anyway, what's happening is silver and gold prices are starting to take off. We've got endless wars on a couple of fronts. Well, let's say Iran, Ukraine, China, and we're not including North Korea or any of these other saber-rattling psychos who want to go to war with the United States. They want to destroy us all. It's disheartening, though, when you see Israel bombing the bejesus out of the Palestinians, especially when they're all told to move to South Gaza for safety. Now they're bombing the crap out of that area of Gaza. That's very unfortunate. The innocent people getting killed over there are not the Hamas terrorists. These are just, young people for the most part. I mean, their population's 60% under the age of 18 or 20. I forget what the stat is, but, they're just kids. But, they gotta get rid of them terrorists, But, I mean, they got terrorists established in all these Muslim countries, they gotta fight for Allah. Allahu Akbar. Anyway, so we got the deteriorating economy with a massive U.S. debt, with unfunded liabilities, more than we could ever scrounge up the money to pay even a quarter of, trillions of dollars in unfunded liabilities. Now let's go over to the housing market. Housing prices are sky high. How is somebody making $60,000 a year going to be able to buy a $400,000 house? What's going to happen is we're going to see a collapse in the housing market, and prices are going to return to somewhat affordable for people who aren't making 85, 100,000 a year. In the old days, a guy who was a postal worker making, well, what was it, 30,000 a year back in 1990, could afford to buy a little house or a little condo and set up his little family and go to work every day, collect his paycheck every week, and do okay. Now it's impossible because everything's so sky high. But I see an inevitable collapse in the housing market because these prices just are unsustainable. You only have so many people who are rich enough to afford getting into a house, and everybody else is having a difficult time paying the rent. So that's one part of the equation. Now, the other part of the equation is the U.S. Stock market. It's been on a high flying ride, but I believe it's going to implode too. I think these companies are unsustainable. They can't make enough money to provide a good return to their investors and stockholders and shareholders. And they're eking it out right now, and they're, the only way some of them are surviving is just to be sure that their products are in demand and somewhat affordable. But I can see a bunch of U.S. stocks getting crushed. I'm no financial advisor. I'm just a prognosticator. So don't take my advice as gospel. But this is what I see. Anybody with any horse sense is going to be able to determine that themselves. I mean, it's a shame. It really is. The stock market. Oh, I just let it ride in the stock market. And then when it crashes 40%, like it did in 2008 during the housing crisis, well, it'll come back again. They don't tell you this, though. Let's say you lose 40% of your stock market investment. How long is it going to take for the stock market to go back up enough for you to recover that 40%? Let's say you had 100,000 invested in the stock market, and after the crash, you got 60,000. Now, how long do you think it's going to take to recover that 40,000 and get back to profitability again? I tell you, it's damn near impossible unless you put it in the right products and you say your prayers every night. Because once that principle is gone, it's so difficult to recover the principle. It's just nearly impossible. So I mean, next time you talk to your stockbroker, don't let him blow smoke up your butt. These stock equities, they're not insured. I mean, any risk of profit or loss is all on you. So if you lose money, it's just your tough luck. So, but I see, Carnegie the Magnificent predicts that we're going to see a big adjustment in the stock market. U.S. bonds, the Treasury bills, the T-bills, they can't sell them. Nobody wants to buy them. They're not paying enough interest for these people to take on the risk involved because the U.S. is broke, flat ass broke. We're on our backs. And there's no way we can fight a war And we got nearly 15, 20 million invaders across the southern border since Biden took office. And these people are living better than the people on Social Security. They're getting $2,200 a month, free rent, free food, free medical care. Everything's free, free, free. Thanks to Joe Biden and the Democrats. They just want to bring them in so they can vote for Democrat, down the road. But, Joe Biden, he's the greatest president since George Washington. That's what they'll tell you. The guy's a lunatic. I believe he's mentally ill and he's mentally deranged too because he's lost his cognitive abilities. But I think he's a sick puppy too. When you hear all his lies and his bragging, and there's some pathology there. I mean, the guy's, he's Cucamonga. They got some Rancho Cucamonga to get married at a Buddhist temple. That's where he wants his son Hunter to be. He's the Buddhist temple in Rancho Cucamonga. So, but anyway, it might not be too late to jump in and buy some silver, get it as close to spot as you can. It's about $25.50 an ounce. If you can buy it for $1.95 to $2.50 an ounce over spot, you're doing okay. Stay away from the high premium stuff because it's tough to recover that money. I mean, the stock, the silver prices go up and down. This has been a good run the last couple of months with silver prices going up pretty good. Gold is another story. Even though it's a record high of $2,067 or so right now, I mean, just a year ago it was selling for about $18.20 an ounce. And, to buy the gold, you have to pay the premium. The premium is about $100, $150 an ounce. And, it's difficult to overcome those big premiums. So I'm more to sticking to the cheaper precious metal silver. That's poor man's gold. But, you should have 20 or 30 ounces on hand. Just, for emergencies. You never know when you're going to need a tank of gas and you're out of money, or maybe somebody will fill you up for a couple ounces of silver. And plus, if the price goes berserk, which I think it will, I foresee silver going way up here in the next 5 years. I can't tell you how high, but I'm saying it's going to be pushing $70, $80 an hour. $70 to $80 an ounce. Now remember, this little bar here, it's 1 troy ounce. 31.1 grams made by the Germanium Mint. Then, here's a round of generic silver. Again, 1 troy ounce. Now, this could feed you for 3 or 4 days if you bought the right stuff, mac and cheese, and, survival food, Oh, speaking of survival food, I got the new product, this whole milk, powdered whole milk. It's made by Nestle. It's called Nido. And I hate drinking powdered skim milk. Stuff's horrible. But anyway, there's Nido, Nido. There's some pretty good stuff. Mix it up, throw it in the refrigerator, let it get nice and cold. And you got milk for cereal, milk for chocolate milk, milk for recipes, or just having a cold glass of milk. It's always nice to have. This stuff lasts a pretty long time. I mean, 1 canister of this stuff will make you a lot of milk. I don't know how many gallons exactly, but I'd say at least 7 or 8. And, with the price of milk right now, about $5 a gallon, if you can make 8 gallons out of this powder that costs you $23 a canister, you're saving a lot of money. And the taste isn't half bad either. It's a great product. I'll endorse it. So anyway, but that's my update for today. Now listen, I want you to behave, stay out of trouble, keep a low profile, love your brother, man, even as much as you hate to, because I know you're a bunch of prejudiced, hateful mofos out there watching this. But do your best, help out wherever you can. People always need a helping hand, not a handout, a hand up. That's the old slogan. So do what you can. If you can make somebody's life easier by giving them a little hand, then, it makes the world a better place. Now, listen, little babies. There's Dr. Media saying goodbye. Now, look, before you leave, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and leave a comment too, okay? I love you, little babies. Bye bye.